Hello everybody and welcome back to our man in the middle section, and right now we successfully installed our tool that we are going to need, and let's see what type of the attacks we can actually perform with this tool. So what I have right here is the help menu, and simply, if you just didn't see in the previous video, in order to actually run this tool you need to specify Python, since this is running on Python 2, and then after it you specify the name of the file or the name of the program, which is mitmf.py. And you can add -- help in order to see different settings that we have right here. Okay, so if you scroll all the way up, we will see the actual logo of the tool, which we are currently not really interested in. We have the -- help, the version. That is really not that important to us. What is important is these commands right here. The most important command that you're going to need to actually run the attack is the -I with the interface, so that is the interface to listen on. Once you actually run this attack, you will need to specify your networking interface, whether that is your wireless network adapter or you're simply just using the interface that is running network over the cable. You can pick any you like. These other options are not really that useful, such as, for example, port, not really that useful. Of course, you can experiment with them if you want to, but from the actual options for mitmf, the most important one from this section right here would be the -interface. So what we're going to do right here is I will open a second terminal, and as we go through the actual help menu, we will simply just type the command right here. So make sure to switch to the directory of the actual mitmf, and then Python mitmf and then -I for the interface. In my case, that is the ETH0. Now once again, in order to check your networking interface, you simply just type ifconfig, and you see which interface is running over the network, which interface has the IP address. In my case, this is the ETH0, and it will probably be in your case as well if you're running Kali Linux. So once you find it out, you simply just type Python mitmf and then -I and then -ETH0. So this is first thing that we actually specify. Then we can go down here, and there are some of the interesting options right here, such as, for example, flips images 180 degrees. You would simply just specify this option, and we're going to see them later on. For now on, we're not really interested in that. Once you come right here, this is where the actual specific options come in play. So this is the spoofing options, and as we can see right here, it says redirect modified traffic using ICMP, ARP, DHCP, or DNS. Now, the actual spoofing that we're going to use most of the time is called the ARP spoofing, as we discussed in the previous videos. So there are two things that we need to specify. Is we need to load the plugin Spoof, which we can simply just do with this command right here, so --spoof. And we need to specify what type of spoofing we want to perform. In our case, we want to perform the ARP spoofing. Okay, so --ARP. The next thing you need to actually specify is who are you spoofing. Now, in our case, we want to spoof the entire local area network, so all we need to do is actually specify the gateway. If you wanted to, for example, spoof only one target, you can do that simply just by using these --targets, and it says specify host to poison. If omitted, will default to subnet. So if you don't specify this, it will actually spoof entire local area network. Therefore, we are going to not use this right here because we want to actually target the entire network. All we want to do is specify the gateway IP, and in order to actually find out the gateway IP, let me just open another terminal right here. You can simply just use the command, for example, netstat -nr, and right here under the gateway, below that you will see the IP address, and that will be the IP address of your actual router. So you can simply either copy this IP address if you want to, or just remember it. It might be the same as in my case, or it might be a little bit different, such as, for example, -0-1 or -0, or I don't even know. It could possibly start with 10 right here, but it will most likely start with 192.168 and then some numbers. Okay, so once you check the actual IP address of your gateway, you can simply just type --gateway and then specify the gateway IP right after it. So paste this right here. And once you actually do that, simply just specify right here enter, and this tool should start running. Now, as it says right here, ARP spoofing is enabled, And what this means is that simply every single packet that is going from the router to different types of devices on the local area network will go through our own device and we'll be able to sniff it. Just the problem is whether it will be encrypted or not. So what I have right here is my actual laptop. You can't really see it, but what I'm going to do from it, since it is on the same network, I'm going to visit a page and I'm going to see whether we will be able to actually capture that I visited that page right here. So the IP address of my laptop is 192.168.1.15, I believe. So we should see in clear right here, once I actually visit some page on the actual internet, that the IP address 192.168.1.15 has visited that page. Now keep in mind that will only work if the page is HTTP. If it is HTTPS, there is a way that we can actually perform the SSL strip, which there is an option right here, which I will show you in some future video. But if it is not an SSL, if it is running over TLS encryption, there is really no way that we can actually perform the sniffing of the packets. As we can see right here, I opened my Firefox and we can see right here that we get the notification that this IP address is opened, detectiveportal.firefox.com. And let's say I visit, for example, this website. And we can see the actual website that I have visited on my actual laptop. So right then, if you were interested, for example, what that website was, you can simply just copy the link and see which website was visited by that specific device on the same network. So paste right here, and you can see the actual website right here. For some reason it says could not proxy requests. Now that is also something that can happen sometimes. You can actually crash the actual network, but that doesn't happen that quite often. So as we can see right here on my laptop, even though you can't see it, I got the actual disconnected from the internet for just a second, and now I'm connected back. Now once something like this happens, all you want to do is simply just Control-C this, so you can stop the actual program. And once you stop the actual program, you simply just stop spoofing, exit the terminal, and the program has stopped running. Now, the problem with some of the routers and some of the networks is that once you actually stop spoofing, the connection will be lost to every single device on the local area network. Now that is because if you stop spoofing without actually specifying to the router and to your targets that you want to return the ARP tables or ARP requests and replies to the default, and by default I mean, and that you tell the target who the real router was. If you do not do that, then the actual router will still think that you are target B, and the target B will still think that you are router, and therefore they will still be sending packets to your device which you are not forwarding anymore because you stopped spoofing, and therefore everyone will lose connection because you're not forwarding packets and they cannot be delivered to the actual target or to the actual desired location. Once something like this happens, if you're testing on your actual local area network, simply just restart your router or wait for a few minutes, because after a few minutes something will be rearranged, the ARP tables will be rearranged, the ARP request will be sent once again, and they will discover the real MAC addresses of the devices that they need. But for now on, what we saw in this video is how we can perform a simple ARP spoof command, which will simply just redirect the packets through our own PC, and we managed to actually see what website was our target device visiting over the local area network. So that would be about it for this tutorial. In the next video, we're going to take a look at some of the different commands and different options in this tool. So make sure to wait for that tutorial, and I will see you there. Bye.